A lot of people complain about how do you find and get the best talent. One of the biggest pains that we have as leaders is really finding the right team members, and most importantly, be able to attract them and keep them. And one of the methodologies we use is Topgrading by Brad Smart. But if you want a more practical one, is the one that his son wrote called Who by Jeff Smart. Great book, strongly recommended. And he said there's like really 5 steps. First one is you need to follow a structured process. And this is something that Brad Smart learned with Jack Welch. Remember, Jack Welch was the CEO of General Electric, and he said, I have to hire 30,000 people every year all over the world. You need to have a sensitivity to be able to hire the right people. They're like artists to really be able to find the right gem, right? He said, I could not hire 30,000 people and expect that all my people that hire, they're going to have that feeling. I have to build a structured process that will guarantee I'm going to be able to hire great people. He built a very structured process called Topgrading. And Jeff made it a little bit more practical in his book, Who. But first, you have to have a structured process that everyone could follow, like McDonald's, how to build a burger. Any 50-year-old kid could build the same burger. They have a process like building a burger or cooking a burger in McDonald's to hire the right people. And that's a structured process. Then understand who's an A player. Whenever I talk to people, I said, I really need to hire someone. What do you need? I need someone in charge of sales. Okay, let me ask some questions. Are you going to sell B2B, B2C? What's the price? No, I just need someone in sales. No, you have to be very structured on who you need and who's an A player for you. I need someone that knows how to sell programs B2B for companies that have over 1,000 employees, blah, 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 in this country. There has to be very specific. You have to have a buyer persona, and most important about the buyer persona, the buying process. So you could really identify who's the right person for that, right? Establish who's the A players for that position. Then be able to gather information and people that you could go through the funnel. Typically, you interview 2 or 3 people and you choose your least worst. No, you have to have a bench of around 50 people so you could hire. At the Growth Institute, as an example, we have a policy. You could not start interviewing until you get at least 50 applicants. And my team is like, I have 20 great applicants. No, you have to get 50. If not, you cannot start. And because we build that discipline, that they have to get 50 resumes before they're starting their process, they are really good in building an amazing process to make sure they get at least 50 applicants. And that raises the bar of the applicants. And then once you have 50, the probability of you choosing one that is the right for the position is much higher. Get the data and get a lot of people to be able to rely on the group that you have. Then conduct revealing interviews. And the typical interview, you have an interview, a half hour, you like the person and you hire them. No, there's a process of hiring. As an example, at the Growth Institute, you have to send your resume. Then we have a screening interview. We have a phone with you, 15 minutes, just to make sure you're going to pass or not. If we like you, said, okay, we'll invite you to a full interview. And that interview is usually a 4-hour interview with 3 team members. So one is doing the interview and there's 2 on the back, just hearing and seeing. Instead of the person that is interviewing is asking a question and now they're worried what's going to be the next question. I want people not to be worried about the next question, just be listening. And those 2 are listening. The other one is taking the process. And those are the ones really seeing what's happening, how they react, if they get nervous, all of those things, and really hearing what they're saying. You get the resume, screening interview, what we call the Topgrading interview, that it's a 4-hour interview, very detailed as a process of how to understand. Then you have some follow-up interviews if there's something that we did not like. So after the 4 hours, we have a conversation, the 3 of us. What did we like, what we don't like? And then we have some follow-up questions. So we have a next follow-up question call. And if we like them, then we review reference checks. And after reference checks, okay, we're going to give you an offer. But before we give you an offer, you need to have a cultural interview. And they get a last interview by 2 team members of other department just to confirm culture. And we've had people that whenever they get to a culture interview, they don't pass. And the team that needs a person that hired, that made all the interviews, said, this is great. And he said, no, he didn't pass that. So it's really important that you make sure you go through all the process. And then we made the offer. So that's the revealing interviews to make sure you're doing the right interviews. And then you need to ensure that you sell to them. Like a marriage, you want to have both sides. Once you go through all your process, Now it's your job to excite them and keep them excited. And we always said the sell is not the day you make them an offer and all that. It lasts 90 days after the first day that they start working with you. In the first 90 days, a lot of people question if they took the right decision coming and working for you. We want to make sure they have an amazing first 30, 90 days for them to be super excited about working in the company. And if they are questioning in those 90 days, because they're going to be so excited, they will never question working for you. And the probability of them staying with you for a longer time is much, much higher. That's the top grading process that we follow. We teach that at the Master Business course of top grading. Super powerful. If you really want to understand the psychology of how you hire people and what the process goes through, and exactly what do you do in each of the interviews, what questions to ask, what to do for everything, that's what we teach at the top grading Master Business course. So the typical discussion is whenever I start hiring, I need someone for yesterday. You go to the market, if you see someone that has a pulse, you hire them. No, we have a very strong philosophy. You have to hire slow, fire fast. Once you lost the trust in a team member, they have to go that day. But you have to hire very slow. Are you going to miss a couple of great people in the process? Yes. But it's more important that you guarantee you get the right person hired. And here we've seen that people said, no, but I'm going to hire someone really fast. And then they have a lot of problems and issues in the back. We said, we prefer that you spend a lot of time, energy, focus, whatever, in getting the right person. And that will save you thousands of hours in the back if you found the right person or you selected the right person. We always recommend that you hire the slowest that you can and fire the fastest that you can. Talk about the functional org chart in the next 5 years. You know who you're going to need next 5 years. You have to be much more strategic of who you hire. The problem is that people, because they're running behind with the strategy, by the time they realize they need someone, they already need it for yesterday. And that's why they hire whoever's in front of them, and they make a lot of hiring mistakes. And now they complain they have a lot of drama in their business. If there's one thing that gives you a lot of drama in your operation, is having the wrong people in the wrong seats. That will give you a lot of drama. And here, a lot of people said, but it's very expensive to hire a professional. And I was like, if you think it's expensive to hire a professional, wait till you hire an amateur. It's going to be 10 times more expensive. So hire slow, fire fast. So in the top grading course, what we do is we help you first understand your functional org chart, really what seats do you need, then writing an amazing job scorecard. Before you start hiring and looking for people, I want you to be very clear on who you need, why you need them, what KPIs are you going to expect from them, what results, like everything. The more you think and you understand the position, the best. It's going to be much easier to go to market and really be able to say, this person really looks like this. Indeed, I've done this a lot of times that after 5 or 6 interviews, there's one that I like. I give them my job scorecard and said, is this you? And they read the job scorecard. And some people said, you're expecting me to do $1 million of sales a year. I'm never going to do that. Or there are people that read it, it's like, yes, that's me. And when they read it, they feel so identified that they could not think of working for anyone else that is not you, because they said, you're the only one that really understands. And by the way, it's very interesting. The first time I heard about the top grading process, I was like, people are going to be offended. They're going to be spending 15, 16 hours of hiring process. Once we told people after 15 or 16 hours of process that we're not going to hire them, instead of them being mad and just shouting, they said, thank you for how much time you dedicated. I think it's the first time I've seen a company really get to understand me before they hire me or deny me. Thank you for the process. They enjoy and they appreciate the investment time. That's what we teach in top grading. How to do a process that whoever runs it will guarantee they hire the best team members.